In early 2022, he was, by reputation, the most trusted man in cryptocurrency, a 30-year-old worth more than $20 billion, who drove an old Toyota and slept on a beanbag by his desk. His exchange, FTX, told the world it was the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto. Tom Brady sold it. A Super Bowl ad sold it. Its name sat on the home of an NBA team. He flew former world leaders to his conference and testified to Congress on how to regulate the very industry he ruled. At its peak, FTX was valued at $32 billion. And then, in a single week in November, it was gone. Roughly $8 billion of customer money had simply vanished. The strange part is that it was never really there to begin with. The deposits people thought were sitting safely in their accounts had quietly slipped out a back door, into his own hedge fund, to be spent and gambled away. So here is the forensic question. How does $8 billion disappear behind the most trusted face in crypto? This is the story of Sam Bankman-Fried, and the difference between being trusted and being honest. To understand how the world handed its money to this man, you first have to understand the image. He was the son of two Stanford law professors, a physics graduate from MIT, who went to work at an elite Wall Street trading firm. In 2017, he founded a crypto trading firm called Alameda Research. 2 years later, he launched his own exchange, FTX, a marketplace where ordinary people could buy and sell crypto. It grew at a speed almost no company in history had ever matched. But the genius was never just the product. It was the philosophy bolted on top of it. Bankman-Fried preached a creed called effective altruism. Earn as much as you possibly can so you can give nearly all of it away. And he looked the part. A billionaire in cargo shorts and a rumpled t-shirt who drove a Toyota Corolla and slept at the office. He pledged to give away his entire fortune. He was, the story went, the rare good guy in a greedy industry. The press fell in love. One magazine put him on the cover and asked if he was the next Warren Buffett. He spent like he believed it. A Super Bowl commercial, a deal with Tom Brady, and the naming rights to the home of the Miami Heat. He became the friendly face of crypto in Washington, donating around $40 million and testifying to Congress on how the industry should be policed. Who would ever suspect the man begging to be regulated? But there were always two companies, and that is where this story really lives. The first was FTX, the exchange. When you deposited money there, it was supposed to be yours, held for you, like cash in a bank vault. An exchange is not supposed to gamble with your deposits. It holds them, it keeps them separate. That is the entire promise. The second company was Alameda Research, his private hedge fund. Its job was to make risky bets and chase profit. Bankman-Fried owned about 90% of Alameda. He also owned and ran FTX. So the man who ran the exchange holding your money also ran the hedge fund placing the bets. Publicly, he swore there was a wall between them. No special treatment, no conflict of interest. It was the most important sentence he ever said, and it was a lie, because Alameda made big leveraged bets, and in 2022, a lot of those bets went badly wrong. A hedge fund that loses billions has a problem. It runs out of money, unless it has a secret source of cash that never says no. And sitting right next door was a pile of money billions of dollars deep. Other people's money. Customer deposits inside FTX. All you would need is a way to reach across the wall, quietly, without anyone ever seeing. Here is how they reached across it. Every normal customer on FTX was watched by an automated risk engine. If your bets went bad and your account ran low, the system would automatically sell you out to protect everyone else's money. No exceptions. Except one. In 2019, an FTX engineer added a secret exemption to the code just for Alameda. In the database, Alameda's account was given a hidden setting, a flag that, in plain English, meant, let this account go negative. Every other customer had to actually have the money. Alameda did not. It could keep trading, keep withdrawing, keep pulling cash out, even when its balance fell below zero. That single setting turned FTX customer deposits into Alameda's private line of credit. And the line had almost no limit. Over time, it was quietly raised to $65 billion. To be clear, that was the size of the open door, not the size of what was taken. But the door was wide enough to swallow the company whole. The engineer who built it would later testify he was told to do it by Bankman-Fried himself. Only a handful of people knew the back door existed. Customers did not, Investors did not, the public did not. On the outside, FTX looked like the safest exchange in the world. On the inside, the vault holding your money had a tunnel running straight into a hedge fund that was bleeding. Now the obvious question: if Alameda was losing, how did any of this still look solvent? The answer was a magic coin they printed themselves. FTX created its own token called FTT. It could mint it, hold most of it, and largely control its price. Alameda then used that token as collateral, as proof that it was rich. Think about what that means. You invent a currency, you keep most of it, you decide it is worth billions, and then you borrow against it. As long as the price of that token stayed high, the books balanced. The empire looked healthy, but it was circular. The collateral propping up the company was a token the company had conjured out of thin air. And the customer money pouring through the back door did not sit still. It was spent. Roughly $2.2 billion went out in personal loans to a handful of insiders. Hundreds of millions went on luxury real estate in the Bahamas, including a $40 million penthouse. Billions more went on venture bets, celebrity deals, and political donations. Customer deposits, the money that was supposed to just sit there untouched, was quietly paying for all of it. And here is the part that still stuns people. While all of this was hollowing out, Bankman-Fried played the hero. The summer of 2022 was a bloodbath in crypto. Famous funds and lenders collapsed one after another, and one man kept stepping forward with a checkbook to save them. He threw a $250 million lifeline to one collapsing lender and committed $500 million to another. The press compared him to J.P. Morgan, the banker who single-handedly calmed a financial panic a century earlier. The savior of the industry, the steady hand, the adult in the room. It was a masterstroke of image. Who bails out other people if his own house is on fire? But his own house was already on fire. He was rescuing others with money that was never really his to spend. Every rescue bought him headlines, goodwill, and something far more valuable: time. As long as everyone believed FTX was the strong one, nobody asked to look inside the vault. The reputation was the armor, and it held right up until the moment someone tugged on a single loose thread. The thread was a leaked document. On November 2nd, 2022, a news outlet published Alameda's private balance sheet. It revealed that Alameda, the supposedly separate hedge fund, was sitting on billions of dollars of FTT. The token FTX printed itself was the biggest asset propping up the company next door. The circle was now visible to everyone. 4 days later, the head of the world's largest rival exchange announced he was selling all of his FTT. One sentence posted online, and it lit the fuse. The price of FTT began to fall, and customers, suddenly nervous, rushed to pull their money out of FTX. In 72 hours, they asked for roughly $5 billion back. And that is when the back door became visible from space. The money to pay them was not there. It had been spent, lent, and gambled away through Alameda. FTX froze withdrawals. For one desperate day, it looked like the rival exchange might buy FTX and save it. Then they looked at the books and walked away. The hole was simply too big to fill. On November 11, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Bankman-Fried resigned. $32 billion of value, gone in under a week. The man brought in to clean up the wreckage had once untangled Enron. He had seen the worst that corporate fraud could do, and even he was stunned. Never, he said, had he seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information. What the cleanup found was not some work of criminal genius. It was chaos. There were no proper records, no real board. Company money tracked on the kind of software a corner shop would use. Expenses were approved by employees, reacting with emojis in a chat. On December 12, 2022, Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas. He was extradited to the United States and released on a record $250 million bail to his parents' home. He insisted he had made mistakes but had not committed fraud. He gave interviews. He blamed bad management. But the people who had built the machine with him had already turned. His closest deputies pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against him. Caroline Ellison, who ran Alameda, Gary Wang, who wrote the code, Nishad Singh, who built the back door. One by one, they told the jury the same thing. He knew. He directed it. On November 2nd, 2023, the jury took just hours to convict him on all 7 counts. On March 28, 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. and ordered to forfeit $11 billion. There is one strange epilogue to this story. Most victims of a fraud this size get pennies back, if anything. The money is usually gone for good. FTX customers were different. The bankruptcy estate has been able to repay them in full in dollars with interest. But read the fine print, because this is where the cruelty hides. They are being paid back the dollar value their crypto had in November 2022, the very moment it all collapsed. Not what it is worth today. In the years since those same coins soared, many customers got their dollars back and missed a fortune. Made whole on paper, left far behind in reality. And like every great fraud before it, this one rewrote the rules. The lesson regulators drew was brutally simple. An exchange must keep your money separate and prove to an outsider that it is really there. Another set of eyes, the exact thing whose absence let the back door stay open. It was the same lie a man named Madoff told a generation earlier. Madoff printed fake statements. Bankman-Fried printed a fake coin. Both sold the very same thing, the feeling of safety. Because in the end, he never really sold crypto or safety or a brand. He sold trust. And the one thing that was never actually in the vault was your money.